3 2 1 Good afternoon, everyone. Before we start the discussion today, I would like to introduce a member of Gogowa Group. Allow me to present น้ำตาลโชคน้องฝนลูกน้ำ Magic and me ปุ๊บปั๊บ Today it seems necessary to discuss about the perceptions of children exposure to list and how to protect all of list. Who would like to start first?
Let me begin the bulk of the list that children experience, as we have seen the news, are hazard and safety outside of the house. Missing stranger has a lot of danger. Child abduction shows that children are highly susceptible to abduction groups that use a number of sensitive cheat and trace. That was one classified and criminal crime. As a result, it is a significant issue that must be addressed.
Yes. Based on information obtained from Gogowa Foundation in 2021 on a child abduction case in Thailand. First of all, most of the perpetrators had the purpose of abducting children for sexual acts, and the secondary objective is to bring and watch them with affection. Next one, children who have been abducted are from birth to 12 years old of age, and the most vulnerable group are children between 3 to 8 years, both male and female. Okay, next, no kidnapping were found in the form of gang, and not found in the form of kidnapping for the purpose of reselling the child. Next one is the perpetrator can be both people they know and stranger. And most abduct place for children is the area near the house where the child walked alone. Now, the last one. Many cases at the time assessed to be a kidnapping of a child, but when the facts appear, it may be something else, such as concealing the occurrence of domestic violence or even create a situation.
You know what? When someone is missing, you don't have to wait for 24 hours to report a police officer. So, before you report to the police, first make sure you check with family, relatives, and close friends of those who have disappeared. Next one, check the missing person's belongings or important items and take them with you for tracking or as evidence. And last one, the sequence of events from people close to those who last met the missing person to be able to testify to the police correctly. Okay, if you need to check about what I said before, next one is where to report. You have to go to a police station near the area where the missing person was last found, or police station in the missing person hometown, and police station in the string the missing person is in that area.
I completely agree with Namfon and Namdan that the news has been said to affect children's rights. Personally, I think the news about leaving the child alone carry a risk to the child as well. For example, on April 3, 2013, a 3-year-old girl had cerebral edema and low platelets for suffocation after unconsciousness in a school van for 5 hours, which the family believed was caused by the prudent school bus teacher. Now, legislation has Child Protection Act (BE 2003) that person must not abandon a child at any place without providing proper protection, welfare or care. Anyone who infringes on this will be liable in imprisonment for a term of not exceeding 3 months or to a fine of not exceeding 30,000 baht or both.
Do you all agree? As far as I'm concerned, the list that you discussed they are so scary and potentially life-threatening to the children. So does anyone else have thoughts on this?
Absolutely. I think that the most common risk is crossing the road at the zebra crossing. Before crossing the road every time, you have to stop walking at the edge of the road. Look right the left, then look right to make sure no cars are coming so you can cross. You prohibit to cross the road immediately. This means quickly cross the road and walk quickly. You don't run across the road as long as you are not careful with the kind you might get hurt.
And there is another problem that's currently occurring due to COVID-19 situation is the fact that makes students unable to do activity outside the home. Therefore, they tend to pay more attention to mobile phones on condition that their age are under it. They may not be able to choose media that is appropriate for their ages. Okay, great everyone. We have listed quite problems. Let's take a look at the procedure how to protect the children from our list that everyone talked about before. By the way, what is everyone's opinion on the list that children are exposed to?
From the online media addiction, I agree that children should be able to learn more online because nowadays online channels are easily accessible and the most convenient. We should not limit or begin too strict in accessing online media.
I'm not quite sure for that. I think the children will use online media properly only if they have their parent to guide what is properly. I don't mean that parents should be spying on their children all the time or those children can watch anything, but you can deny that some TV series or movie can contain violent content that is not appropriate for children at all.
I agree with you. It may be hazardous to children's health if they absorb too much online content. As a result, children may become distracted, introvert, or socially awkward. Include lack of concentration, lack of accountability for prescribed duty can have serious health consequences such as eye of loss from too much screen time. Children should be given a time restriction, may be given a warning or advised to take up a hobby in order to strengthen bond with family and friends.
Could I explain about danger that occur in the home, such as cramming, running, and playing? Children are mischievous and like to research and explore things around them. As a result of this, children are always exposed to risk. Therefore, parents should closely supervise children to protection for injury in the home and play safe.
But I think children should be strengthened by learning from actual situations. Strengthening the action is also give children to be more confident. This is another important thing that will benefit the children long-term learning. Perhaps the adult should let the children learn, children having to play safe in their sight. It's okay if children get minor injury because it is an experience and make them learning.
And every year, we hear about 10,000 people dying on the road from road accidents, which children are more likely to die than other age. To prevent accidents on the road during crossing the road, we shouldn't let children cross the road alone at all. If necessary, it may be helpful to teach children about traffic lights and to raise their hand high while crossing the road, like in Japan.
However, I disagree with you a few areas. If a situation emerges when the child must cross road alone, or compulsion situation make inevitable harsh accident may result. As a consequence, it is critical to teach, foster discipline, and develop basic ability for crossing the road safely. According to Ramatipudi Hospital research, it was shown 13% of children were struck by automobile while crossing the streets due to lack of skill to cross the road.
Exactly. Let's figure out how to protect your children's exposure in different ways. Alright, everyone, can I start this with show?
Of course, we have a way to teach children how to be a stranger because nowadays we can judge by their speech or character. Therefore, we should explain to children the meaning of strangers. Whoever is with you is safe, and everyone who may come to harm.
Try to explain about virtual situation and how to coping with risks. For example, their loss their ways, unable to find their parents. The children try to find out a place for paying the money and tell the staff that I lost my way with my parents. Tell their name and with their don't go anywhere until their parents come and see them.
Another risk that we currently hear about is the new living children in car. Every time we park, we should try avoid or reduce the risk. Make sure the child is out of vehicle, even you're only going to run errand for a few minutes. Keep an eye on your children since you might be naughty, playing automotive bottom or system such as the central locking handbrake or accelerator by accident might lead in unexpected consequences and uncontrolled.
After talking a conversation about how children and parents avoid risk, let me put it another way. The government also have a way to the province is increase the legislation to protect children online, to be more stringent to reductions such as seduction, pornography, and violence. The government should campaign for the hotline and increase the communication channel when faced with violence related to children in the online world.
Excellent, everyone. To summarize, first of all, the list faced by children are strangers, but we will cope by explaining the lessons and meaning of a strangers or make completely to the children. Second, leaving the children in the car or staying alone, you should be start with their parents. To be responsible, check every time. They must not leave children put in the car or staying alone at all. Third, the government should increase the legislation to protect children in various fields, not just online media. To be more stringent and tighter, absolutely protect infringe on the lives of children. And finally, having the fastest way for the children to get in touch is a great way to go. So many thanks to all my friends for today's discussion. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.